Good morning, everyone. Well, it's going to be a little different today. As you can see, it's pretty, I don't know how well this comes out. It's really dark, and there's just full clouds everywhere. And the forecast says rain, but not until noon. Technically, it can start here shortly at like 9, but there's only a 20% chance until noon, so I figured it would be okay. But it's already been sprinkling. So I'm doing something different no matter what. I'm going to go to a different spot and sit under cover and just sit and watch. And mostly sit and not walk. And the reason for that is because I don't want to walk too much. I'm here for about 2 hours, a little less. And then as long as it doesn't get canceled for rain, I'm going to go birdwatch with a group of people. I've never done that before. So that'll be interesting to see. And that's a funny thing that, like, for two things, it's kind of a first. One, just bird watching in general, and two, doing it with anyone at all. I've been doing this for, I think I looked up at like 7 years. And as soon as I started this, not what most people I think start for bird watching, I had cameras. I had a camera and went, what can I do with this? And I explored and found that I like taking pictures of birds. So I then made a goal of doing that. Binoculars came later. The first pair I ever bought were from Walmart for like $20, and it was because I went out one day, these cheap little things. I went out one day and my partner was with me and went, hey, I'm going to go do this and take pictures. We could stop by and get binoculars. It was like I went, mostly this will be in the car because she doesn't like walking around a whole lot, and understandable, and outside, hot and sweaty and things like that. I also used to be that way. I've kind of come around. But anyway, we're mostly going to be in the car. We'll go to a spot and explore, and I want to check these places out more so than I want to, get out and walk around a whole lot. And after the first place, we were like, well, obviously we should just stop and buy some binoculars. So you have something to do too, because she was also being like, oh, I can see something. And what about over there? And how about that? So yeah, that can help. So I bought these, and this is just what I've had. And I've used these. I keep them in the car now for something like that. But I went, if I'm going to go actually do this, for one thing, I'm going to not go with a camera. I have a camera, and I'll scope it out. If, assuming nothing gets canceled, I'll go and I'll see if other people have cameras and things like that, and then I'll just bring the one. It's already enough as it is. I don't want to go overwhelming or anything like that, because I don't know. But I did want to take some binoculars, some decent binoculars. And so I bought some binoculars. Tried buying them used off of eBay, save a little bit of money, and the guy never shipped them. And I went, well, you know what? They're actually not that bad on sale. So these are Vortex Diamondback 10x42, which has to do with the magnification and the millimeter size. And they are, so much better than that $20 or $30 pair from Walmart, let me tell you. Quite excited to finally use these. I've played around with them a little bit, like in the apartment, looking at birds out the window and things like that. And it was like, this is definitely better. I'll say that much. That's for sure. So quite excited. It's got a little harness that I can wear and things like that. I won't be doing that today. I think that's enough. Let's go ahead. Since we are, no one's there, in a park where the speed limit's like 15 miles an hour or something like that, and no one's really going very quickly or anything, I feel okay holding a camera while I'm doing this. Because typically, I would not do that. That's kind of the points of having all the mounts all around the car and things like that, is to make sure that I'm hands-free and not distracted driving. I'm not holding it up to the point where you can see, but that's fine. Anyway, yeah, that's we're at St. Vrain. Been here many a time. This seemed pretty good to just kind of start it. I wanted to do at least something. It is a Saturday, so this is when I would be out doing the usual amount of stuff. I mean, really, it would be with the video camera, which I just I did spend a little bit of money for that. I realized the last time I went out, the last time I was getting footage, where was it? Or when was it? It was a few weeks ago. The tripod that I have works okay, but it's really not great when you put all the heavy stuff on it, which is what I'm using it for, is like the main one that I have. It's a much cheaper than the original. I made a whole video about which ones and what I like, but it just doesn't pan very well. It's kind of jittery until you get it going. And I have a much better tripod head that I like a lot better. I just didn't have legs to put on it, so I picked up some legs. And now I just have to figure out how to carry all of that, because I was already like, oh boy, this is a lot, and it's tough to carry it all. And then I added one more big video tripod to the mix, which is, we'll figure it out. I'm currently in the process of packing it all up, but that'll be Monday as long as the weather is nice. This is the second attempt. We're into, this is the weather, and this is going to be what it's going to be. Second attempt at doing a meetup birdwatching group thing. The first one got canceled because of weather as well, but it was canceled because of weather for a slightly different reason, in the fact that there was a tornado that touched down last weekend. So although I had that one, I was really excited about. That one was a whole thing where they had like a 20-year veteran naturalist who was guiding it. It was a kind of a guided tour situation, and apparently that's their annual thing, that particular group. But I don't know if it actually wound up happening. I was like, it was an evening thing, and so I was on the wait list and waiting because it had already filled up, and I thought, well, maybe we'll wait and see what happens. And then, not like 30 minutes before we're supposed to start, there was the message being like, hey, we're keeping an eye on the weather. We'll see. You never know how things change, but we'll see. And I looked and went, oh yeah, there's a whole tornado like warning and watch and the whole thing in one touchdown, and it was just raining like crazy. Let's not risk it. Let's not try to do that. So I didn't. I decided to not go for something like that, and that was last weekend, and we might get rained out again today, so I don't know, we'll see. But that's pretty much everything, and I'm unless we see something really cool. Let's see, is that spot? There is back here one of the spots that I usually come to, but then I walk around. There is a covered park bench back here, as long as someone's not also using that for fishing or anything. No. Okay, cool. We're gonna park and we're just gonna sit, and I'm gonna put the camera on and just record for an hour or two, and we'll see what happens. Unless, because this is a lot more public, people come up and try to talk, which could happen, in which case I cut the video. But we'll see. Anyway, I'm trying to get it all done here, because when it is time to go, if, assuming the weather stays nice, maybe the clouds will clear, maybe we'll get some sun, or if it's raining, I'm going to go sit under a covered bench over there, a little picnic table, and we'll see kind of like how it goes. And if I do have to go, then I brought a different shirt so I don't smell like outside the whole time or something, just in case. And also the full camo and everything is a bit much. So I'll just get changed and go. So there might not be too much at the end. Depends on what we see. That's enough anyway. I'm going to go do that. That's kind of my plan. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll talk to you guys more, or maybe we'll just put in some photos of what I see, or maybe this is it and there's nothing else. Who knows? I don't. Well, canceled due to rain. What are you going to do? I also had a thought before I left. I'm not actually there now. I thought maybe I went to the park across the street, because as I was driving in, up on the pole where they set up a platform for a nest, the osprey had built a nest, and there was an osprey in the nest. And then on the pole across from that, across the road, was another osprey. So there was a pair of osprey right close to each other, and I thought, oh, maybe there's something in the nest, considering the time of year. I don't know if they would have hatched by this point, or if they're still incubating eggs, or what the situation may be. But I did see an osprey while we were out there at one point that I believe caught a fish. It was pretty far, and the pictures are not going to be great at all. Unfortunately, it's so cloudy, no sun whatsoever. Is what it is. But I thought, oh, on my drive out, maybe I can stop and look for the osprey. Not only is there not really a place to stop, I should have thought about that along the road there, but there were no osprey in the nest when I drove past. And by that point, I've already committed to, well, you're basically leaving the road. What is happening over there? I just see, can you see this? There are bunnies, rabbits just hopping over each other back and forth. They're just like frolicking. I have no idea if that's way too small for you to see over there by the fence. I guess they stopped. I saw it multiple times where they jumped up. That was cute. Anyway, by that point I was already committed to basically driving out and leaving St. Vrain. So across the street is a park that we've been to many times before, and I thought, hey, why not? So yeah, bird watching canceled due to rain. That's 0 for 2. We'll get it at some point. There will be an opportunity to do that as a group. I set it as a goal. I bought those binoculars specifically because I didn't want to go with a camera unless there's a lot of people with cameras, but my assumption is that it will not be the case with lots of people doing that. And it will be more bird watching, and I wanted to do that and try to learn from people. That was kind of the whole point of what I was thinking, and my plan there was simply go with people. I have been, like I said before, I think it's been 7 years, and never once have I, one, just gone bird watching with binoculars and not something to take a picture or record it or capture it in some way, and two, never done it with another person. So my thought was, let me go do that and learn and see what that is like in some way, because I've never done it, and I should. I could probably learn from people who do that regularly. Maybe I can learn where they go, what they look for, how they spot birds, and that will help me increase the photography stuff that I'm trying to do. But today is not that day, and the reschedule is not going to work either because it's on a time where I'll be out of town already. They were like, we're going to reschedule for this weekend, and I went, can't make it right away. But anyway, we did see, no sun. I just basically sat because I didn't want to walk too much. I don't know if I explained that very well. I don't know if I explained several things. I sat down and I just started looking and thinking and going, I don't know how well I explained some of the things that were in my head, such as the reason I was going to change clothes was, again, to not go in. For one thing, if I sweat up this shirt, then it's going to smell bad. For another thing, if I go in the full camo and everything, I was just going to downplay a little bit how much I've been doing. I wasn't going to walk out there and be like, well, I've been doing this for 7 years and I make videos and I do all this stuff. I was just going to go, I've been bird watching with photography for a while, but I was going to be honest and say that and explain to people and let them kind of teach me, because I didn't want to go into it and go, hey, I have this much knowledge. I wanted to let them teach me from nothing, assuming that's what it was going to be like. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just figuring it out. And that's kind of what I thought about. And I also, it was partly that and partly because the other week I went to a thrift store and found a nice jacket and it's like, hey, I like that. So it's an excuse to wear that. But it won't happen today. Oh, well, it'll be next time. We'll see what happens for Monday. When I was out today, we did see the regular. Nothing. It was interesting. Okay, I did see something of note that I don't know if it would come across on this because it was so far away. I saw the usual geese, some pelicans, cormorants. Those were the bigger ones. The osprey maybe had a fish, but I don't know. 12,000 ISO it comes out so grainy. They're really not usable by my standards. I don't like the way they look, but we'll see if any of that comes out. Red-winged blackbirds all over the place, and swallows. Those were the typical ones that I expected to see, and I'm glad they were just landing, and doing their red-winged blackbird calls and things. So it was fun. I had a good time just sitting out there. I was kind of hoping it would actually rain. If it was going to rain, not just kind of sprinkle a little bit, but actually just pour down rain. I don't care. I'm covered in that, and I thought it would be cool to capture the sound and audio. I kind of forgot just how close that area is to the highway, so hopefully you're able to tune that out. I can do that in real life. I struggle greatly with tuning out background noise when it is recorded in a video. It's a lot of like, oh, I can hear, it's just constant, and I can't seem to unfocus on that in order to focus on the point of it. If I'm in the car driving or whatever it is, that's why I typically use noise isolation and cancellation and things like that to take out the road noise and just focus on just the audio of my microphone, because that's what I prefer. And so if I'm going to make a video, I'll do what I prefer. I hope that some people at least aren't that way and have the ability to tune that out with a video, because otherwise that hour long that I just sat there enjoying the nature is basically completely unwatchable or unlistenable. Just not going to happen. Anyway, Monday video, weather permitting. Hopefully. I gotta figure out where I'm going. Yes? Yes, I think so. Yes. All right, that'll do it. Is what it is. Well, I'll find a birdwatching group at some point. I'm not going to record or do a whole thing with that, so it's not like it's going to be something that I'll share in some way. It just happened to be today, and because it was later in the day than I usually go out at quote-unquote sunrise. Not much sun today, but it was enough to, I thought I'd at least mention it, but we'll see. And if I like it, then I'll talk to people about it, but if I don't, then, well, you'll never hear about it again, and that's fine. All right, bye, everybody. Until next time. Maybe we'll get better weather and more birds.